When you are caught napping at a crucial point, the chance to make it becomes very dicey. Premiership giants Arsenal and Manchester City face an Herculean task in the return leg of the UEFA Champions League to fancy their chances of getting through to the last 8 of Europe's biggest club football competition. This is Hotsports, and there's so much to offer you on the program this Saturday. The 6th edition of the Hotsports Ladder Challenge kicked off last Wednesday at the Lagos Country Club. For 6 years consistently, Hotsports has been sponsoring that squash tournament. We bring you a special report on the 10-day tournament that will round up next Saturday.
The annual Hotsports Ladder Challenge, a squash competition sponsored by Hotsports Nigeria Limited, kicked off at the squash section of the Lagos Country Club on Wednesday with a high turnout of players eager to take on one another to clinch the ultimate prize. 6th in the series, the tournament features skillful and veteran squash players in top-rated duels with the player who has the highest points emerging the overall winner. Tayege, CEO of Hotsports, explained that the competition was conceived as a platform to promote squash and also engender bonding among members of the section as well as Nigeria's squash fraternity. He expressed delight that the tournament has continued to deliver on this. He thanked the section for providing a platform for the company to demonstrate its commitment to the development of the game and pledged Hotsports' continued sponsorship of the tournament.
I'd also like to say, there's nothing that gives a man pleasure than spending your money for what you have. And for as long as our chief executive of Hotsports likes squash, and I don't see the need squash because of the several elements that told us and used to be, then this tournament will be in continuity of the grace of God.
Demola Olusumade, chairman of the Lagos Country Club squash section, commended Hotsports for sustaining the sponsorship of what has become the foremost competition in the club.
Mr. Tayege, it's not easy dipping hands into your content project and additional money year on year for 6 years journey. I've been part of this group for 6 years or so I know how much money we've been spending year on year. No matter how much money a man has, you can always use your money to buy this for yourself. If you take the money to the market and so you buy some nice jackets or nice shoes, so coming here and giving us kind of money like this to us every year is really worthy of competition.
He said this year's edition will feature the men and veteran categories. He maintained that the veteran category is meant for players who are 50 years and above. The competition has created a platform for the ranking of squash players of the section into the different categories on the ladder: gold, silver, bronze, and veteran, and has also produced players who have won laurels at different invitational tournaments. This year's edition of the tournament ends next Saturday.
At the limit of your ability, you need to replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Give your body fuel. Keep your body hydrated. Lucozade Sport hydrates and fuels you faster than water. Lucozade Sport.
On the main issue on Hotsports this week, we beam our searchlight on the Super Eagles as they prepare for the World Cup in Brazil 2014. Of course, the big match against Mexico, the friendly coming up in Atlanta, will help to evaluate the team and see how we can get the best players for the World Cup. Hotsports, as official media non-match partner of the Nigerian Football Federation, will be on ground to bring you very exclusive pictures from the training camp of the Eagles. Those exciting pre-match and post-match shots you will love to see when it comes to the Super Eagles preparation. This leads us to the main issue this week as we look at players who are trying to come into the team and those who are invited. Just last week, Big Boss Stephen Keshi invited Captain Joseph Yobo back to the team, and he also said he's giving a chance to Osaze Odemwingie after having some personal discussion with him. It leads us to the main issue on Hotsports this week. Does Chief Coach Stephen Keshi's willingness to give a patently indisciplined Osaze Odemwingie a look in the Brazil 2014 bound Eagles, whilst ignoring a free-scoring Ike Uche, not amount to double standard? Don't forget, Ike Uche has scored 12 goals already in the La Liga, making him one of Nigeria's top striker. Should we just leave him there because of indiscipline, or should Coach Stephen Keshi reconsider him? That is the main issue on Hotsports.
Football is played off here. It's not on your leg. That's is how you reason, you're intelligent, that keep you going. Otherwise, Messi can be the best player on planet. When I was in Togo, we qualified Togo for the World Cup. Majority of the players were all first-time national team players. Some don't even have club in Europe, but I'll bring them in. We'll work together to play the next game. But you will never notice that they don't have a club. You've never noticed that these home-based players, this is their first time playing national team because the way we build ourselves. The same thing in Mali. So if in Nigeria here that I was a product of this, and I won't give opportunity to the players that I think they can do it, then my policy is not the same thing I'm living with. And what most people don't understand is, yes, we have players out there in Europe that scores maybe 15 goals per season, 20 goals per season, 10, 20 assists. But what is their contribution to the team? It's two different things. We want everybody to play together. We don't want somebody to just be out there and the rest of the team playing for that player. Well, we have enough of that in the national team. I don't need those players. I need players that fight for the team, score for the team, fight for the teammates, and this is how we need to go. When I was playing the national team, this is it. Late Rashid Yekini, on top there will come back. We have Amoka Chidie, Siasia. Everybody works together. And that's why they keep saying 1994 team is the best team so far, because we work for one another. We work for the team. It's not about sentiment. It's about the team. The team is the most important thing, not me. So the same thing that the question on MNK, you see, if we had not given these guys opportunity to play, how would we have discovered MNK? That is good. But you see, I don't like building my team around the team, around the player, around the team, so that should anything happen, I still have backup. I'm not scared.
Hotsports cranks up the heat this Saturday with fresh sports news and incisive analysis, backed by exciting visuals. Hotsports, your unique source of sport information, education and entertainment, inimitably delivered via hot, scorching argument where no one blinks. Don't miss it.
And to trash out the main issue on Hotsports today will be Biola Kasim and Chuka Izwegbuna.
The seeming disposition by Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi to extend an invitation to Osaze Odemuenge as we count down to the World Cup, and seeming reluctance as well to invite Ike Chukwu Uche, for me is understandable. This is a manager who has been in camp with him for months on end and totally understands how the young man can be psychologically, particularly when he's not playing well. Well, Osaze Odemuenge, everybody knows that he's remorseful for all of the errors he has made in the past, and now he's a wise old man. And when you are going to the World Cup, you need a few wise old heads who have been there before, who have seen it all, who have done it all, and who can help guide the young players, when push comes to shove. So I do feel that the coach clearly understands what he's doing. I do not think that what he's doing is contradictory. What he's doing essentially really is saying to players that if you are in discipline, so to speak, and you mend your ways, there's a chance of redemption, and that's what I think is done with Osaze Odemuenge. So I do think Ike Uche actually can learn from Osaze's example, put up his best behavior when he's in camp with other players and even when he's off camp, so that further down the line, he can be extended an invitation as well. So I do feel that the coach is on the right path, and I feel absolutely that he's doing the right thing.
I have a lot of respect for Coach Stephen Keshi and all that he has achieved with the Super Eagles as a player and as a coach, and the way he's been able to manage disciplinary issues concerning players and the Super Eagles, even with officials of the NFF. But I have to say at this junction that when you think somebody is treading a path that you don't agree with, we have to come up and say it. Right now, I don't agree with Keshi's disposition towards inviting Osaze Odemuenge and the reluctance to invite Ikechukwu Uche. I think Osaze Odemuenge has committed the bigger of the two ills, and Ikechukwu Uche is doing what he knows how to do to prove that he still is worthy of being called into the Super Eagles lineup. Ikechukwu Uche's performance was what actually dropped him out of the Super Eagles, but right now he's back in form, he's banging in goals. I would think that above anything else, the first consideration for inviting a player to the Super Eagles camp is performance, which Ikechukwu Uche is doing right now. Odemuenge has shuttled between clubs from Cardiff now to Stoke City. It just shows that for me that there's still something lacking with the young man, and I think that Coach Stephen Keshi should also give Ikechukwu Uche a chance, a shot at the Super Eagles. We want our best legs there. We want our best chance of performing well at the World Cup.
The first thing I have to say is that we need not to be stuck in a time warp. The things that Osaze did were like 2 years ago, and essentially what he did was air misgivings, air his grievances through Twitter in a disrespectful way, I must accept. But he has since come out to apologize, and clearly his remorse is clear for all to see. And so when the player has apologized and is remorseful for actions, you've got to be matured enough to forgive him and not label him with the tag of, in quotes, indisciplined. This is a player who, if you look at the sum total of his career, you cannot say the common denominator has been disciplined. Yes, he's had a few issues with discipline, but even some of the best players in the world have had those issues. But the key thing, like I said, is that he's old enough now, he's wise enough to understand that that path he was threading was a path, is a road to perdition, so to speak, and he has walked back. He has, reorganized his life, so to speak, and I do feel he deserves, an invitation to the Super Eagles. With Ike Uche, the things that he did happened as early as the Nations Cup, and there has been no inclination whatsoever that he thinks that he has done anything wrong. Talk more, even apologizing. And as a coach, Stephen Keshi has placed it on record on more than 3-4 occasions that this was a young man who came very close to disrupting, team spirit at the Nations Cup, and the young man has not deemed it necessary to call his coach or talk to the media to apologize. So what are we saying? I think that this case is clear. It's a slam dunk. Osaze Odemuenge is a player reborn. Ike Uche clearly is on a path to perdition. If he likes, he should score 80 goals for Villarreal. If the coach thinks you are a disruptive influence on his team, he's not going to invite you. Any coach that does that because you are banging in goals does not know his onions. Proper coaches take tough decisions, and this is one of those tough decisions.
Biola, much as I agree with you in a lot of the things that you've said, for me personally, I might be wrong. I think that Osaze Odemuenge is just trying to play on our intelligence. This is swan song. This is his final chance of playing at the World Cup, and that's why he's come out. He would do anything, say anything to get his way back into that Super Eagles.
Can I interrupt you?
Think just a second, Lee. I think Osaze Odemuenge is the same old, indisciplined person that he is. He was at Cardiff City, and of course, we never saw him do anything before he was shipped out to Stoke City mid-season.
Can I come in, please?
Okay.
Was he indisciplined at Cardiff?
Well,
was there any case of indiscipline?
there was no clear-cut case of indiscipline. But you said he apologized years ago.
Of course.
Yes, and after I'm not contesting that. After apologizing, he went to West Brom. He had issues.
No, Chuka. Don't make a mistake.
After he apologized, he went to West Brom and he had issues.
You are totally wrong.
How am I wrong?
His apology essentially came after I had left West Brom.
No.
Biola, please.
No.
Chuka, let us understand issues clearly.
Okay.
In fact, whatever happens between him and West Brom is none of our business.
It's still part of our business. Because if you're indisciplined in your club, there are chances that
he was not indisciplined with it. What happened? He wanted to move away. He has explained it many times.
And he went and he said things that he shouldn't have said.
What did he say?
It's just like, okay, Pellegrini now saying the referee was unfair, and UEFA says
you must understand that not everybody can be the Pope.
It's not about being the Pope.
Well, that's what you're suggesting.
We have a standard way that we expect you to behave. You're a model.
Are we a seminary? Are we a seminary?
Biola, if you have issues with your club, there are channels by which you follow to channel your grievances. And he's not follow that channel.
Did you hear what happened between Lionel Messi and the director at Barcelona? When the director came out to attack him and said that Messi doesn't need more money, and Messi said that the director doesn't know anything about football. What am I saying? They must... Chuka, sorry, let me learn Chuka very quickly.
Yes.
Conflict is a natural byproduct.
Yes, everybody understands that.
Thank you.
But to say
is that he has apologized.
It's how you resolve those issues that are the issue.
Chuka, after an apology,
how can you have an issue with you and I don't address you? Instead of sitting down to address the issue with you, I go out on the pages of the paper and I'm making noise.
He has apologized for that. Why are you going back there?
I'm telling you, I'm trying to chronicle this.
You can't chronicle anything. The man has apologized.
He apologized before the West Brom issue. He apologized to Keshi before the West Brom issue. Yes, and he went to West Brom and he's had another altercation. He's had to apologize for that one again.
Look, let us situate this properly. The only issue he had with West Brom, really, was that at some point the club was suggesting that maybe he couldn't play with an injury, blah blah blah. Bottom line, he wanted to leave, and he went over to QPR. Let's just, because people are listening, people are watching. Truth of the matter was, he went over to QPR thinking that a deal was on. Apparently, a deal wasn't on. QPR left him, to hang. Hung him out to dry, and all of that issue.
That was January last year.
That, of course,
and that
January,
was
Chuka, this 2014.
Yes, I know.
That's about 15 months ago.
Yes.
Since that time, he has played for Cardiff. He went over to Cardiff.
That's what I'm saying.
And in Cardiff,
his issue with West Brom was he wanted to leave West Brom.
Chuka, are we talking about something that happened after the players apologized?
Biola, you were talking about things that happened in the past.
My point is that that's
the same thing with
I don't buy.
As
you are even saying he wasn't indisciplined. Like you are the coach. The coach said the player is indisciplined. You sit down here and declare nothing.
No, are you saying that Osase Odewenge was not indisciplined?
He has apologized.
No, I know what was he indisciplined? Was he a disruptive influence in the camp?
Have I been here to suggest that he was?
No, I'm just asking.
He has apologized. Of course he was.
Biola, what I'm saying is that
are you what you were before?
I'm certainly not. But what I'm saying is that if you're giving Osase Odewenge a shot,
the only reason
why he apologized is not he's at the peak of his powers.
But he's doing well. He did not score a goal 2 weeks ago.
After how many years?
After
how many years?
Chuka, how many games was he getting at Cardiff?
After how many years? It doesn't matter. If you can't play in Cardiff, that means you're simply not good enough.
Not necessarily.
Cardiff is battling relegation, and he struggled to get into that team.
To show you that he's not on that level, he has moved to a bigger club actually.
To Stoke
at 12th on the table.
And they are struggling.
He's better than Cardiff.
And he's getting to play because their main striker is not besides Crouch. He's not playing.
Who is their main striker?
I can't get
his name is John Waters. He plays every game. Osase plays, of course. He plays every game.
Osase has only scored 1 goal.
But he has played in all the games he has played. Since he signed for Stoke.
Yes. How many games?
He's getting on the pitch.
How many games?
Look, Chuka,
how many games?
It's not an exact science.
It's not. Yes, exactly. It's not an exact science.
So you can choose to leave a player who has scored 12 goals and take the one with 1 goal, and it can work for you. Can it not work for you?
Biola, no.
Can it not work for you?
Biola, let's not.
When we not here criticizing Keshi for taking 17 debutants.
Biola, let's not model things up.
No, you are not modeling things up. You want to talk football to an exact science.
It's not an exact science.
We should open a spreadsheet and start to calculate who has done what exactly. Who has played how many minutes? Who has scored? No, that's none of your business.
Biola, the truth is that is why we have statistics. That's why we have statistics to measure players. You cannot tell me that a player that has not scored a goal in almost 2 years.
He's a statistician.
A player that has not let me finish my statement. A player that has not scored in almost 2 years, and
Chuka, he has actually scored.
Before he scored, it was almost 2 years before he scored 1 goal. 1 goal
Once
in 15 months.
You can't say 2 years.
1 goal in 15 months.
That's a better way to put it.
1 goal in 15 months.
Okay.
And you want to compare it with a player who has scored 12 goals, is in form. Is And since he's been injured, his club has been struggling. And yes, you want to say you're giving the person with 1 goal a chance, and you don't want to.
The critical point is that player who has scored 80 goals, like you are referring to,
yes,
is a bad influence on the team. That's what the coach has said.
Maradona, we knew him.
Ike Uche Maradona. Don't mention names like that alongside Ike Uche. Ike Uche is not even fit to be JJ. You are mentioning Maradona. You have to calm down. You are going too far.
Biola, we have players, whoever the player is, whether you are good or bad, we'll measure you with what you put out on the field. If Maradona was a bad influence.
On who?
Generally, everywhere he goes.
Chuka, you're wrong. Maradona was an inspirational influence on the national team at Napoli.
Biola,
what are you saying?
Biola, Maradona, well, you can't call Maradona a role model.
He was an influential figure.
And as a coach. And
Maradona was the reason why Argentina won the World Cup in 1986.
Because of his performances.
Thank you.
His performance, there's a difference between your performance. Balotelli is a fantastic player. When he's on the pitch, he delivers. But we all know that he's a bad influence.
Chuka.
Nobody wants him around.
Chuka,
they know he can do better than he's doing.
When you are eccentric, it's even being a bad influence. Can you define
you are calling Balotelli eccentric?
Of course.
Balotelli is a bad influence.
How
Everybody knows that. His behavior on and off the pitch is disruptive and distractive to his teammates.
Since he went to AC Milan, can you give me one simple example of one bad influence, in quotes, incidents that Balotelli has had?
This season he's had not.
No, he didn't go this season. When last season actually? So you have a
last
very
summer.
How many months? A very wide.
How many months?
He didn't go last summer. He went last January.
He went
in the January transfer window. He did not go in summer. He went January transfer window. So we are talking about 14 months.
14 months. Okay.
You have the floor.
He has not.
So why are you calling him that?
But we all know.
What do we know?
But we all know that.
Do people not change?
He has a record. People change, but exactly. He has a record. You have to prove. See, your reputation.
You can't prove it.
But Biola, you are measuring his reputation based on 14 months. When you have created a reputation of over years, you don't change your reputation in one day.
See,
you don't wake up one day and say, "I don't lie again." After you've lied for 20 years, and you just wake up one day and say, "I don't lie again."
But you know
I should take you for that. We wait to see.
There's no we. There's the coach. The coach has decided to take him. So you have to watch.
We are not arguing.
There's no we. He doesn't have to convince you.
We cannot tell Coach Stephen Keshi
what
we can fault what Coach Stephen Keshi is doing. And I'm saying that if you are giving us as a chance, you should also give Ikechukwu a chance.
At the limit of your ability, you need to replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Give your body fuel. Keep your body hydrated. Lucozade Sport hydrates and fuels you faster than water. Lucozade Sport.
Well, to the final whistle on Hotsports as we look forward to the friendly between Nigeria and Mexico on the 5th of March. And of course, a look at the team that will be playing. And also further considering players that will be invited before the World Cup kicks off. We look at some of the major players, Osaze Oderenge and Ikechukwu Uche, that have scored 12 goals already in the La Liga. We have asked on the program this week, does Chief Coach Stephen Keshi's willingness to give a patently indisciplined Osaze Oderenge a look in the Brazil 2014 bound Eagles whilst ignoring a free-scoring Ike Uche not amount to double standard? Of course, as we have said earlier, Ikechukwu Uche has 12 goals already in the Spanish La Liga. What do you think about this issue? We think here we should get the best legs to represent Nigeria at Brazil 2014, and of course, well-behaved players that will contribute to the success of the team. Why not get back to us through SMS and through our social network platform, and we'll be very glad to air your views on this program. That's how far we can go on Hotsports this Saturday. We'll be back again next Saturday.